Hello and welcome to another edition of I&I. In today's video, how many of you out there would consider yourselves as being morning people? Now, I hazard a guess that not many of you are. Of course, if given the chance, many of you would like to spend as much time in bed as possible. And although a lot of you have to really drag yourselves out of bed in order to get to work or to do the things during the day that many of us have to do, but not many of us want to do. Now, yours truly is a morning person. I like to wake up early in the morning, and I am a person that just likes to be proactive at a time in which most other people are not being proactive or productive. So I've always taken to waking up very early. 6-7 o'clock is early to me. Well, it was early to me back then anyway. But for the last 4 months, I have been waking up at 3 a.m. And I don't mean waking up at 3 a.m. and then lying in bed awake, watching YouTube videos. I mean up, out of bed, doing the things that I need to do to be productive in the hours in between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. A lot of you are watching this, you're thinking that I am crazy, but I'm not. I have really found this to be a game changer. It has enabled me to do things that I would have never have been able to do, being a father of 2 children and a husband to a beautiful wife. In today's video, I'm going to explain to you the reasons why I wake up at this time. I'm going to explain to you how I wake up at this time, because believe me, it's not easy. I'm still human. I'm not crazy. And I'm going to explain to you how you can perhaps even consider doing it yourself. First, I'm going to ask you to please like and subscribe the video, and please share as well. That'll be well appreciated. Here we go. So how did this all come about? Back in December, I had to go away for work. So I traveled to the United Kingdom and I was away for a number of weeks. Now at this time, our youngest, he was still 4 months. He was still a baby. He was still sleeping long hours, and it was good. It was easy. I thought it would be okay for Iris to take care of 2 kids by herself. She managed to formulate a way of being able to take care of the 2 children herself, and she did very, very well whilst I was away. When I came back, I realized that she had formulated a plan of getting the kids up early, 6 o'clock, getting them prepared for school, taking them to school, and then coming back and having a bit of time to herself to do the things that she needs to do. Then when our eldest came back from kindergarten, she would spend time with her, focus on her. She would finish up doing whatever she needed to do before getting the kids into bed very early. Okay? Very early even for the standards of people who put their kids to bed early. Okay, maybe not that early. She was getting them into bed at around 7 o'clock, in between the hours of 7 and 7:30. Now, most parents would not go to sleep with the children, okay? But because Iris was still trying to get on her feet, it was the first time she was ever taking care of 2 children at the same time permanently. So for her, it was important for her to get herself a lot of rest as well. So what she would do is she would go to bed at the same time, and she would inevitably fall asleep a little shortly after the 2 kids had fallen asleep. So she would fall asleep at about 8 o'clock. And so when I came back from my business trip, I adopted that same pattern of sleeping. So I started sleeping at around 8 o'clock at night, and I really liked it. I felt really refreshed in the morning, and sometimes I'd wake up at 11:30 just wondering what the hell had happened. This is so weird, to fall into your deep REM sleep and then wake up in order to use the toilet or something, and it's not even 12 o'clock yet. It is a macabre experience. Now with me, I don't need that much sleep. If I have 7 hours sleep, I can easily get through the day without taking a nap. I can do whatever I need to do. But 6 hours sleep is sort of borderline for me. I can function on 6 hours sleep, but it's just not to 100% my abilities, or the same ability that I would get if I had have taken just that extra hour's sleep, you'd be surprised at this REM sleep and how potent it is. So I would go to bed at around 8 o'clock and I would fall asleep before 8:30. And because I don't need that much sleep to function properly, I tend to wake up early. And I found myself waking up at around 3 o'clock in the morning. And so from 3 o'clock until around 6 o'clock, 6:30, when our children wake up, I had that free time all to myself. I could do whatever I wanted to. It was like, I don't know, it was like God had given me 3 extra hours to do whatever I wanted. And so I got into the rhythm of things and I have not looked back since. I wake up at 3 o'clock every single morning, even on the weekend. So let me explain to you how I generally tend to wake up and how things slot in at around that time, that crazy early time. Sometimes, I've got to be honest, I will need the alarm. Sometimes I won't. Most of the times I just wake up at around 3 o'clock. This very morning, I woke up at 2:57 on the dot, okay? And so I was totally fine. Now, like I said, I'm not a robot, right? I'm not a machine. I am still human and it is still dark outside, very dark outside and still chilly outside. And the last thing I want to do is to get out of bed, really. Especially during those times, okay? December and January here in Europe, it is cold, it is wet, it is windy, it is dank and dark outside. The last thing that you want to do when it is like that outside is get up out of your bed. But that's exactly what I have been doing. 3 o'clock in the morning, even if you've had enough sleep, you're still going to be a bit groggy. You're going to need to wake yourself up. I don't drink coffee in the morning. I don't have caffeine, all right? That's a story for another day, but I don't have caffeine, especially that early in the morning. So in order to wake myself up, the initial wake-up procedure would be for me to pick up my phone. This is perfectly okay. Turn on that phone, get that blue light into my eyes. It will stimulate the release of a stress hormone, actually, inside the body called cortisol. And this hormone will wake you up. That's exactly what it does. This is the main reason why, if you have problems sleeping at night, you should not have your phone with you and you should not have any bright lights around you, because that stimulates the release of cortisol in your body and you will stay awake. It's no ifs, no answer, but it will keep you awake. But in my case, that's exactly what I want from it. I want it to keep me awake. So that's what I do. And I keep it to around 15 minutes. So at 3:15, I gently and very slowly get out of bed. I wish my wife was here to speak with you about this. She would tell you how I get out of bed. I literally crawl out of bed. Like I put one foot on the floor, and sometimes, because if it's dark, I don't want to turn on the light, I put my other hand on the floor and I'm just like on all fours, like an animal. Eyes still half closed. It's so funny. Anyway, I get up very slowly and then I rise and I just walk out the door. I pick up whatever I need and walk out the door. We have an office in the apartment, and I tend to get, not all the time, I did yesterday, but I tend to get organized the night before. If not, then I'll organize myself then for what I'm about to do. Okay. Now, in general, right, over the last 4 months, since I've been waking up at 3 in the morning, I've been going to the gym at 3 in the morning. In fact, I will normally get to the gym like I did this morning. I got to the gym at 3:50 in the morning. Bless these 24-hour gyms. I don't know where I would be without these 24-hour gyms. They're an absolute godsend to me. And I love being able to train at a time when Iris doesn't need me. So I'm able to go to the gym. I get back. I get the children's clothes prepared. And by the time I've got it all prepared and I've showered and everything else, I'm ready for the day. Then it is 7 o'clock. I'm able to go back into the room and wake up Noor and wake up the children, wake everybody up, get everybody prepared for the day. And that is generally how my very early mornings go. So I've been utilizing these hours to go to the gym, but like I said, I'm not an animal. I'm not nocturnal, right? I am a normal person who just wakes up at 3 in the morning. A lot of people might think that that is buying you an extra 3 hours, especially people in hustle culture. Yes, you know, that's great, you go, man. But it isn't. It isn't buying me extra hours. What is it's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, really, because I'm taking those 3 hours that I would normally spend at night doing nothing that's constructive. I'm not doing anything constructive at 9, between the hours of 9 and 12. I'm trying to simmer down for the rest of the night, right? That's what I was like anyway. I've taken those hours to myself and I've given that to my sleep. And now I'm able to take those hours and reverse it. And now those hours that are really fundamental to me waking up early. And I think it's the best hour, the golden hours, between 3 and 6. I've been able to utilize those hours where I'm doing something functional, constructive, and something that's going to prepare me for the rest of the day. Now, if God came down from heaven and said to me, James, I'm going to make 27 hours in the day. I'm going to give you an extra 3 hours for you to do whatever you want with. I mean, this is a very easy question to answer. Okay, what would I do with those 3 hours? I would actually spend those 3 hours with my wife. Not my wife and the kids, just me and her together, just us two. We could create, we could communicate like the good old days without having to feel like we were pressured time-wise or anything else. We seldom find time to do that with the 2 children and in our hectic days. So that is exactly what I would do if I was given an extra 3 hours to do whatever I want with. But of course, at that time in the morning, I am limited to what we can do. And secondly, I mean, Iris is a normal human being. She likes to wake up at around 7 o'clock. She likes to spend as much time in bed as possible. And who can blame her for that? So I spend those 3 hours doing something that I feel is not just productive for myself, but will help the whole family. Because if I'm happy, I feel good, I feel strong. I'm mentally and physically strong. Yeah, I'm a better father, no question. So now over to you. If someone was to give you an extra 3 hours to do whatever you want to do, how would you spend those 3 hours? Let me know in the comments section below. It'd be really good to hear what you have to say about that. Listen, guys, I'm not suggesting that you should wake up at 3 a.m. I really am not. I completely understand if you think that I'm crazy. But I tell you this, waking up, being able to train, being able to do whatever I want, running, having the streets to myself, going to the gym and having the entire gym to myself. Guys, you have no idea of how glorious this is. Being able to go into the gym and there is nobody else there. Nobody else there. You can release your inhibitions. You can scream, you can shout, you can push yourself to the limit. And there is no one there to hear you scream. There is nothing in the world that is better than that. There really isn't. There are certain things that you can do at that time of the morning that will make you get ahead in life. Get yourself some rest early in the evening and get prepared for an early wake up. Thank you for watching.